Thank you. Today we are having an altar server training, and just for a few brief tips about the parts of the church that are involving the altar servers. So first we're going to enter the chapel and just listen and watch. So this is the chapel, and it's a very reverent place. So because of that, we always do simple bow. So simple bow is not this. That's called profound bow. Simple bow is just nodding your head as a gesture of respect. So whenever we come in, we just nod in respect because the tabernacle at the far end of the room houses Christ. And so out of respect, we don't talk unless we have like real business. If it's altar server stuff, we can talk, but talk quietly. But otherwise, there's no talking in the chapel because of the tabernacle being there. Okay. Also, when you come in, notice over here, this is the spot for the candles for a gospel escort. So we will have them lit with a barbecue lighter when it's that time for you to come into the chapel. And that is right at the beginning of the second reading. I'm sorry, at the beginning of the responsorial psalm. That's when we get up and come in. So when we hear the end of the first reading, we all stand up if you're a gospel escort, altar server, and the captain comes with you. And then you light and you wait until it's your turn to exit, which is at the end of the second reading. Okay. This is again gospel escort servers. Okay. All right. So I've come into the chapel, and I can either bow here or I can bow here, and then I just enter back here, the sacristy. Okay, so before you enter the sacristy, if this red light is not on, you turn it on. This red light means the microphone is on, so that the speakers and the microphone that Father wears will be turned on and people can hear him speaking. When you finish at the end of a mass, you're supposed to turn it off. So when you're coming back at the end of a mass and you're going to the left side to change clothes, you would turn it off. Okay. So for right now, we're entering to start our day, so we turn it on. And this room is called the sacristy. So this is the sacristy part where we do not change clothes. But inside, I want you to see what are behind some of the doors and in this room. So this is the area where vessels for the liturgy are washed and sometimes stored. So one time you may actually use this for offertory procession. If you need some water, you can get it from here, from the sink. Okay. This is at the end of a mass. This is where the Eucharistic ministers would wash the vessels for communion. So it houses the chalices for the priest as well as the communion cups. It houses the communion bowls. It stores the pyx, which are for communion home to homebound ministry. Here we have the holy water bucket. Holy water bucket. These are also items you need to know where they are. Okay, this is the incense, the tura bowl, right? And the boat. The boat. And the stand. So this is where the incense servers would get their items before Mass and return these items to the storage area after Mass. This is for everybody. Sometimes Father needs to bless somebody's car, bless like the commissioning of somebody, or bless somebody that's getting married. When we start new altar servers, they bless the robes. This is holy water. It usually will always have water inside it, so you shouldn't have to worry about getting more additional water. You just need to be careful and carry it with two hands because there is water in it. You don't want it spilling out. And it's very heavy too. That's another reason why. You actually should carry it like this. Support the bottom because it is very heavy, and have a good support from the top. Okay, this is called the sprinkler. In the real fancy word is called a spirigillum, but it's just like at Easter. You know how we sprinkle everybody during the Gloria. Okay. Now, these are the oils. Now, usually you won't need to have the oils, but if you were helping at a 8:30 Mass, sometimes they have anointing of the sick, and so you would need to know which oil. Those are the blessed oils that are blessed just before Easter and brought from the cathedral. Okay, so these are oils of catechumens, like for Easter, for the sick. Okay, what else is it? Okay, right here. So this is incense. This basket, this tub, is for the briquettes, for incense, the tongs, and the lighters. Now, for incense, you would not use this unless you're a very experienced incense server, because the flame is very fast and it's very strong. So you would not use this unless you were like a junior in high school. I would not expect you to use this if you were a freshman or a sophomore, unless you're very experienced, okay, and you can be trusted to be safe. So safety is always important, okay. Otherwise, you would use the normal barbecue lighters, which should be in here. So that's why incense servers should always come a little earlier, because they want to make sure there's briquettes in here. They want to make sure there's a barbecue lighters and the tongs. And also, this says sacristy because at the end of the Mass, this can be very hot. And we're supposed to dump the ashes from inside the charcoal out near the roses. And so this might be hot. So the gloves are for safety. Okay, using them when you dump the ashes. Okay, so right here is the charcoal, the briquettes for altar servers. This is for the incense for the boat. You need to fill that. Let's see, and as an altar server, if you're an incense server, you use the charcoal sparingly. That means don't overlight charcoal. You're just wasting money. And so one charcoal briquette will last you 20 minutes. So just keep that in mind. Don't overuse them and be wasteful. Normally servers are not asked to bring out more hosts, but these are the hosts that are unblessed. Hosts that are unblessed, okay? And there's little stacks of them. Normally, you're not asked to do that, okay? And this, lastly, is the reserved tabernacle. So as I mentioned, the tabernacle in the chapel is always there. The reserved tabernacle is for Holy Thursday, when extra hosts are blessed. Now we have lots of body of Christ, so we keep it in here because there's nothing, there is no blessing of hosts or Good Friday. So the extra hosts that have been blessed on Thursday are used for Good Friday and stored in here. Okay, so that is okay, so we're still in the sacristy, and this storage area is important for every single altar server to know. For the English masses, it's a 4 o'clock mass and a 9:30. Those are the people, when you see your schedule, it'll say CCS. Okay, that means candle, canister, server. CCS, candle, canister, server. Now you see this says empty and this says full. So if you're a 4 o'clock and a 9:30 server, at the end of the Mass, you just change out all 4. You don't shake it and try to think, oh, how much is in there? You just take all 4 out. Put them in the empty, get 4 new ones, and put them in. Only the 4 o'clock and the 9:30. And that's because between 4 o'clock Mass And at 9:30, there's many masses in between where it's being used, right? So then at 9:30 after that, there's many masses after 9:30 where it's being used, and they get changed again. Okay, so look for your initials CCS. That's candle canister server. Okay, that's this, empty and full. And that's about it for this closet. Okay. So just to let you know, these are the robes that the priests wear. Okay, in here, visiting, priests only. Okay, now these drawers are really important. Okay, so this word, it says purificator. So this is the linens drawer. What you need for mass, if it's a linen or a cloth, or here, a corporal. It's a big long placemat that stretches across the width of the altar. A purificator, which is used to wipe the chalice, right? It's like, like a little cloth, in case anything spills. So all of these are the same. They're just different styles, but they're all the same. They're all purificators. Okay. And if you're helping a daily mass, or if it's a small mass like a funeral mass or baptismal mass, and it's just a private group of people, you can use the smaller corporals. So the same idea that the inside is to be taken care of very reverently, because this is where any specks from the body of Christ would fall here. When we fold it, the way that ladies have laundered it, you can kind of tell, fold it along where the folds are. Okay, so they crease it nicely, so we know when I fold it back, whatever it is actually inside it is very secure. It's not going to fall out. Because you wouldn't, want the body of Christ to be just on the ground. Somebody walks on the ground, steps on it, right? So again, you carry the small one with the same reverence that you carry the bigger one, and they're both called corporal. Okay, and then the corporals all have different styles, but they're all the same. The small one and the big one. For weekend is always this one, and there's usually 2 or 3 in reserve. Okay, so when you check on Credence Table, this is really a must, that you must always check for this, and just come and help yourself to whatever you need. Okay. Purificator drawer. Let's see. So just to let you know, this is called the humeral funeral pall. That means this is the cloth that covers the casket. Sometimes these are the altar cloths that, again, usually environment uses this. The art and environment, they put those out. Now this is important. This is the center, I call this the center drawers, right? So miscellaneous. You need pen or pencil, you need a tablet to write a note to Father, you need a paper clip or something. Okay, these are for you to use too. Okay, now microphones. It says visitor, it says deacon, because when the priests come in, you're on the other side of that wall. They see you first, and they'll say, "Oh, hi, I'm Father Dan. I'm visiting. Do you know where the microphones are kept?" Now you know, right? You say, "Oh, Father, yeah, let's look in here. It says microphone, right?" And then he's visitor, uses this one. Okay. All right. Towels. That's important. If there's an accident anywhere, these are the clean towels. Clean towels, clean towels, clean towels, bells. So, well, there are no bells here. There's supposed to be 2 bells or at least 1 bell. So for our services, there we have a bigger set of bells and a smaller set. The bigger set are brass, darker gold, and the smaller set are brass, a brighter yellow. So you are all supposed to be using the smaller bells, not the loud ones. And I speak to you as English altar servers. Another community may prefer to use the larger ones, but Father Andy has told me use the small ones because that's what we bought them for. We ring them twice and quietly, okay, and reverently. So that's why we use the smaller bells. And also they're used when Father talks. So you don't want a loud noise when Father's trying to speak to the people, right? The prayers. That's why we use the smaller bells. That's the purpose. You don't want to drown out Father when he's speaking. So these are all stoles, which means these are priests. That's what he wears over his white alb. It's a stole. It's kind of a long rectangular piece. And then these are the priests. These are the priest robes. Okay. So usually, only like if you're assisting the priest, like there's a lot of Father Andy has to go like here and there, and he's really busy in schedule. You could say, Father, would you like some help? And you're over there like hanging up his alb and stuff. And then usually he will put it away for you. But if he's running late, can you put it away for me? Sure, Father. Just stick it in there. Okay, there's no particular order of them. But you can see here, this side is Father Andy's and this side is Father Jung's. Okay, and then just to remind you that Father Jung is spelled D-U-O-N-G. But when we say it, we don't say Duong. We say Jung, Father Jung. And so when I write to you as Y-O-O-N-G. And I use quotation marks. That means that's the pronunciation of his real name. Okay. So we're going to go this way into the sacristy part where servers get dressed. This door is usually open. It's usually open. But if you think there's a lot of people in there and you guys are making a lot of noise by just talking amongst yourselves, then it's okay to close this. Okay? Or there's a lot of people here on a special mass, and so they're bothering you maybe, all right? Because you can't talk to your own people on this side, so you can feel free to close it, or just close it ajar, so it's like here, but not totally closed. Okay, so here is the restroom, and it says right here, for priest use only. So you're supposed to use the restroom at your own houses before you come, or if you need to use the restroom, you use the one that's in the hallway off the kitchen. Okay, all right. So this is the room. Again, it's part of the sacristy, and it's where the servants would get dressed. The first thing you want to do is make sure who your team members are. If you have not studied your schedule at home, then you would want to come and look at your schedule. Because you're a team, so you should know who's serving with you. Get to know people's names. So we have 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9:30, and then we have 11. Okay? So it's your job to make sure that I know that you're doing your job by serving. So it's up to you to make sure you sign in. If you don't do that, I'm thinking, oh, you forgot, you slept in, you got sick, you got a sub, something happened because there's nothing by your name. When you come and you had a sickness and you needed a sub, and let's say David subbed in for you, he would cross your name off and write his name. That means I know that you did your job, you called us up, David appeared for you. But if you totally don't show up and you come in to help the team, just sign your initials by the space of the person who's not here. And this is the captain's schedule. And captain should also sign in too. Okay, so we're opening these doors, and this is the albs closet. Now it's very full because these are albs that we have just purchased. So we purchased 39 white albs for the regular servers. We have these that are marked with C, and these are the captain albs. And there's one of each size of those. And these red and white and the black and white are for special masses, like Evening with Mary, October the 13th, we will wear red and white. Sometimes if you're asked to do a funeral mass, you'll wear black and white. But special masses are red and white for everyone on the team. No matter if you're incense or regular server, it doesn't matter. Everybody wears the same. So one of the things to remember is that when you're wearing cinctures, you should all try to wear the same type of cincture. So if there were two kinds of green, whoever starts getting dressed first, they chose this one. You all are supposed to match and wear this one. Okay? Because like on the whites, there are two different ones. They have this style, and the white also has this one. These are the newest ones that came with our new albs. This one. Okay? So whoever gets dressed first determines which style you wear. Now, there are more of this type because every alb came with its own cincture. So if it's a very special mass and there's like more than 10 people, then you should go with this if it's white. Okay. because I know there's more of those. All right, now, so these are the new albs. Now, our new albs came to us about a month ago. Look at how fresh and crisp and new they look. It's up to every server to maintain the alb as best they can. And by that I mean snap it. Well, this one's not zipped, but that's okay if it's totally snapped. Okay, because when it's on the hanger, you want it to hang nicely so that things don't get torn and ripped. But you can also, another way to do it is to actually zip it first and then snap it second. Okay, and you must snap all of the snaps. There's 3. Snap all 3. Make sure that this is the front, because this is the front of the hanger, and you put it in facing the left. Okay, and because see how easy it is to get in and out? Okay, and we're going from 8 to 22. So you can see on the bottom, see how short and then it goes longer in hem length. So make sure that you know, we did a color coding also, so put all the pinks together, all the purples, blues, etc. Now, if you are a ACS server, and every server will have a duty at that. That means you're the ALBS closet server. It's your job after every mass to make sure that people snapped, people zipped, people hung it the right way, because let's see how this one is incorrect. It's facing the wrong way. It's supposed to be this way. So if it faced this way, now look at how I had to hang it, right? It's not, I can't even get it out, right? So you want to make sure that you turn the hook. It's facing left. It's just easy in and out. Okay. And we do that because we've got the cinctures here too, right? We want to move away from where all the cinctures and the crosses are. It just creates less of a traffic jam. All right. So, see, this one's incorrect. It's facing the wrong way. Okay, so I take it out. If I was the ALBS closet server called ACS, I would check to make sure, yep, the 3 snaps are snapped. I would make it face the same, going left. Okay, here's another one, incorrectly done. So most of them look like they're snapped correctly, but they're not facing the right way. Okay, so it doesn't take long. If you're the ACS, plan to stay at least 5 to 7 minutes later after mass, because this does take a while because we have 29 of the white. Okay, now, if you're a short person and your feet don't touch the ground, and by that I mean the whole foot's got to touch the ground, you need to use the pillow. And that pushes you forward so that your feet does touch the ground. So here's the pillow, that's what that's for. And crosses. Okay, so also in the closet we have crosses, and they are on the wall here on the very far right. Just as I said with the cinctures, you should try to wear the same style. So if you come in, you look and what are they wearing? Oh, they're wearing this style. I grabbed this one. So we all look, you know, we're all the team, same team, right? So if you have this one, then, and there's only like 3 of you, and there's 3 of these, then use this one. Okay. So the only rule where this would change would be the captain. The captain can wear, like if there's only 3 of these and the captain makes 4th, they can wear this one. If we only have 3 of these. Okay. All right. And the reason I say that is because captains usually walk separately. When you're walking with a partner, it'd be nice if, you know, you both look the same, right? You both had similar crosses rather than, you know, one has this and one has this, right? The partner has this. That doesn't look too cool. Team, you know, on a team, everybody wears the same uniform. Okay, so think of that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, lastly, there's 2 other things to show on the video. So one is the mirror. Always look at the mirror. Just like when you guys are going to school, I'm sure you check and see if your hair looks good, or, you know, check to see, make sure your shirt looks good. Always use the mirror. Make yourself look perfectly good when you're going out to the altar. And lastly in this room is this over here. Altar server drawer. Inside it, bobby pins. Boys and girls are supposed to have hair off of their face. Here's a hair tie if you need that. If someone is not feeling well, this water is here for an emergency. Okay, and it says altar servers only. It's for emergency, okay? So I noticed that it's low, so I need to come back and replenish this. I usually try to have juice also in here in case someone needs sugar. But again, it's for emergency use, so I will bring that. And then buttons. If you notice that your hanger lost its size button, then you would get from the small bag. This is samples of 10s and 12s. Just get from the small bag. Don't get from the big bag. Do not get from this one. Otherwise, everything gets all messy inside. Oh, and on special masses, when the bishop comes, these are the gloves that the bishop's helpers would wear. Okay, and after you use it, you leave it on the counter and you give it to me, and I'll wash them. Okay, but it's one size fits all. So if they're a little big, that's the way it has to be. Okay, and lastly is over here, and this is our coat rack. Okay, so the new albs are kind of long and material's a little heavier. So feel free to just hang up your alb at the end of the mass, zip it up, snap, 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 and then it goes back into the closet. Same thing when you're getting dressed. Take it out of the closet, put it up here, put your other clothes over here or even over here, and then leave your hanger there so you know it's ready for being able to be put back. Okay, so that is the sacristy.